Good morning, everyone. This is Bremster, and today I'm coming to you with the two puzzles that you can see on the screen in front of you. This is another constraint introduction that I'm doing, this time with the Entropy Constraint by Mad-Tyas. Now, you may remember that recently I did the Entropic Lines constraint introduction, and from my understanding, the Entropic Lines constraint actually came from this constraint. It was inspired by this one. So this one came first. I'm doing it second because I'm odd that way. So this was a constraint that I'd been asked to do, and I'm always happy to try and do these introduction videos. I think this format for introduction videos where I do an incredibly easy puzzle, Entropy the tutorial, is a good way of starting people off with a new constraint. And then there'll be, I love the names that Mad-Tyas gave these for me, Entropy level up, because that's what the next puzzle should be. It should be the next step up so that people can use what they've learned from playing around with a a very easy puzzle, introducing the constraint, and play with something a little bit harder. So I'm doing it again with this puzzle with yet another constraint. Before I get on to the puzzles, and we will be starting with this one, which is Entropy the tutorial. Before we move on to the puzzles, my Save the Galaxy puzzle adventure is still going on. We're about halfway through it at the time that you will be seeing this video. It's been out about a day at the time that I'm recording this. And yeah, the feedback has been really, really good. We've had a few people submit, and what I will point out, there was a couple of clarifications we needed to make in the document. So if you've grabbed the original version very early on, like in the first few hours, please go and make sure you've got the version 1.1 of the document. There'll be some clarifications and things in there that will probably make it a little bit easier and just fix some typos and stuff that we've got in there. There's a couple of things in there that you may not notice that will probably just smooth things out for you. So onto this puzzle, Entropy the tutorial. So the way entropy works, first of all, I will cover the incredible basic. So this is a Sudoku grid. So in every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. Then there is the entropy constraint. So in entropy, similar to in entropic lines, the digits are broken into three groups. There is low digits, 1, 2, and 3, middle digits, 4, 5, and 6, and high digits, 7, 8, and 9. These are three different groups. In the entropy global constraint, which is what this is, so there is no lines or anything, it's just across the entire grid, each 2x2 region in the grid must contain at least one digit of each group. And that's it. That's what we've got to go on. So with that, this should be solvable. Pardon me. Let's give this a shot. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to use my coloring scheme. When I normally do low and high digits, I use blue and yellow. So I am going to mark all of my low digits blue. I think that's all of them. I am then going to mark all of my high digits yellow, and that seems to be a lot of them, but that does seem to be correct. And because I need a third color for entropy, I am going to mark all of my middle digits green. Now I should possibly be starting with Sudoku, but actually I might see if I can do that, because it'll be easier for me to do Sudoku before I put too many colors in the grid. Like that is a 7, and I can immediately and that's just 7s looking into the box. Possibly should have done this before I started coloring, but 8s go in there. I'm not surprised that I'm not seeing a lot, and that could both be a combination of a mix of colouring and not. This must be a high digit because I've got two mediums and a low, so this has to be a high digit, and the only high digit I can put in there is a 9. This must be a low digit, and this must be a low digit. So this sees a 3, so this has to be a 1 and a 2. And this again is just the entropy constraint. I must put a 1 in any 2x2 region I select, I must have a digit of each color. So these two digits must be green and blue. So that's interesting. I can't put a 4 or a 5 in there, so the 6 must be in there. An interesting little Sudoku trick. I'm not sure if that's intended for this solve. So this digit here is either yellow or blue. I think I'm missing a trick with these, but I've never solved one before. And that's because the 4, 5, and 6 is placed. This cannot be yellow. So 9 is in one of those two spots. I am probably missing a trick. 5 is in one of those two spots. Seven is in one of those two spots. See, we've got these triples where we've already got one of each of the three. Now, I know there has to be a blue in one of these two, and it has to be a 1 or a 2. Well, there has to be a 2 in there, because the 2 is taking up all of those. And this is another triple. So this 2x2 has already got one of each of the three. This 2x2 has already got one of each. This 2x2 has already got one of each. Must put a this is going to be a blue 5 pair because I have to put a blue in here. So this is 1, 3, or 5, and it can't be 3. This is a 1, 5 pair. Okay, I had to put a blue in here because there's no blue in this 2x2, and it sees 2 and 3 already. So this becomes a 1, 5 pair. That makes this I've got 1, 2, I need 3, 6, and 8. So this is 3, 6, and 8 without this being a 6. And the reason this couldn't be a 6 is because I needed to put a green in here and it couldn't be a 4 or a 5. So this is 3 or 8. So this becomes 8. So that becomes yellow. There's a little bit of trickiness to this, even though it's an intro puzzle. This becomes 1, 3, and 4. So we can resolve that. Maybe I've missed a trick. That is very, very possible. So that becomes blue. That becomes green. That means there is a 4 right there, which makes that green. This is now a triple. Well, I can ask myself, where does 2 go in this column? It can't go in those two cells. So that becomes 2, which is blue. And down here, I know I've already got the 3 blues, so it's 6 and 8, and that 6 resolves it. That becomes the 8, that becomes the 6, this becomes yellow, this becomes green. Now I do need to put a blue into this little 2x2, so that becomes the 3 without even looking for normal Sudoku, and this becomes the 9 because that's what's left in the box. This now must be 1, 3, and 5. And there can't be a 3 there. So where can 3 go in this row? This becomes the 3, which makes it blue. This becomes a 1 or a 5. Now again, I've got all of the colors lined up. So that's working. I need to put a blue in here somewhere. So the 1 must be in one of these two. Because if I don't put the 1 in one of these two, I can't use the 2 or the 3, then I don't have a blue in that little 2x2. Which means this must be the 2. Which puts a 2 up in one of those two. It is very, very possible I am not doing this the most efficient way. I'm exploring a new constraint. Hopefully you are doing this puzzle on the links provided below and finding other, even better ways of doing this. 6. Something odd going on with blues and greens in here, I think. This is wide open. Now, this is a quadruple, and I'm never against marking a quadruple. 1, 5, 7, and 8. Oh, okay, well, that is incredibly... That's the 8, because I had 8s looking into the box. So I've got one of each of the 3 there. So I'm assuming there is Sudoku to be done. I've got... That is a 7. And that's been a 7 from the very beginning and would have given me a lot. So 7, 7, 7, and that can't be a 7. So that is a 7, that is a 2. See? That makes this a triple, which is 1, 4, and 6. This cannot be the 6. Now, this must contain a 1. And there must be a 1 in here because this has to contain a blue and a green. And if I was to put the 1 there, there would be no blue in this 2x2. So there is no 1 here. This is therefore green. There must be a 1 over here. This is 1, 4, and 6. Now this must be green because of this 2x2. So this is 6. That has to be 6 because it sees 4 and 5. So this is now 1, which is all that's missing from the blue, and 9, which is missing from the yellow, which I could get because I've got 1, 4, 6. And so, yeah, these is a known triple as well, which is 3, 5, and 8. Well, we've got a 5 and an 8 already looking in row 5. So that is blue. I'm very nervous about the harder puzzle now, but oh well. So that will give me the blue in here. I need to have a high digit in here. So this must be the 8 and this must be the 5. So that becomes yellow. This becomes green. I will get my high digit from the 9 for this 2x2. I will get my low digit from the 1 for this 2x2. What I do need, however, is my low digit for this 2x2. So that's the 1 and that's the 9. This is a completely different way of looking at a grid. I am not used to this at all. That's not a complaint. That's just very cool. So I need a high digit in this 2x2. I'm not used to looking at grids in 2x2s. This is very, very unusual for me. So that's not the 9. This is the 9, which makes that yellow. So both here, this now needs to be blue. So this is a 3. Here I need a green and a blue. That can't be blue because I've got 1, 2, 3 already in the row. So that is green. This is blue. This is 1 or 3, and it can't be 3. So this is 1. This is 3. This is 5, making it green. And this becomes green, which is the last in the box. And this is a 4, 6 pair. This is insanely clever. This is not 1. So these are 2, 5, and 7. And there's a 5, 7 in that row. So this becomes 2, and therefore becomes blue, and this is a 5, 7, and I don't have a 2x2 forcing that. Looking for these 2x2s. I need a high in here, but I'm going to get it from the 7. I need to put a blue in here. Knowing where to look, I think, is part of the trick. Now, I could put a 2 there or a 1 there, and I don't see anything wrong with either of those. So I'm not sure that's it. I've got a problem. That is not a 6. The problem was I could see I had 5 digits, but only 4 for cells in this box that were not filled. So these are 1, 4, 5, and 7. So this is a 1, 4 because it also can't be a 5, 7. So this is a 5, 7. So yes, the green is going to come from one of those. This is a 1, 4 pair, however. So this is now 1, 2, 8, and 9. Yes, that is 8 and 9, which means they are both yellow. Which means this, for this 2 by 2, needs to be the 1 because I need something that is blue. This becomes the 4, this becomes the 1, this becomes the 6, this becomes the 4, this becomes the 1. Colouring always slows me down. This is not the 1, this is the 1. I don't need to keep making Babylon 5 jokes. These are blue, this is green. That deadly pattern is broken by this 2 by 2. I need to put a green in this 2 by 2. So that becomes green and therefore 5. This becomes the 7 and yellow. This becomes the 5 and the 7. So that would normally have been a deadly pattern if something hadn't broken it open. And yeah, very, very cool. This is an amazingly good intro puzzle because you are forced to use the constraint to break things open, and that's just wonderful. I need a green in this little 2 by 2, so that has to be a 6. Otherwise, I will have 3 blues, and 3 blues is too many blues, even for someone who sings the blues. This is 4 and 8, and that is resolved by Sudoku. At this point, I imagine I am just using Sudoku, but I could be wrong. This is 2 and 6, which I'm not seeing. This is 1 and 9, which is resolved. That is high, that is low. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. This is a triple. 2, 4, and 6. This is not 2. This is not 4. Okay. Ah, that 9. That's... Once again, my invisibility to black digits is causing me to have problems. This is a 4. This is not a 4. This becomes green, and I was completely wrong. There is a 2 by 2 that I need a blue in. I can't do this with just Sudoku. That's a 2. That's a 6, which makes it green. This is going to be blue. This is going to be green. This is the 2. This is a 6. And that is the tutorial for Entropy. The first ever Entropy puzzle I have done. Did it in about 15 minutes. Yeah, that's a really good how this works puzzle. I hope you gave that a shot, and if you didn't, before you try the next one, I highly recommend actually going and trying to solve this one for yourself, because even if you've just watched me do it, because I think it'll be really, really cool to just play with the options yourself. Yeah, I am now going to pause this video, and then I'm going to reset everything and come back with Entropy Level Up. So this is the second puzzle I'm going to be trying, and one of the things before I jump to my actual solve, I have had some technical problems in this solve, so there's a couple of edit points in there where I just had some technical issues. They happen. The other thing that became very, very clear is this puzzle was a little bit harder than I thought it was going to be, so this is actually a much more of a step up in difficulty than I normally do on my intro videos. I actually get quite stuck. Do not be dissuaded by that. The puzzle is amazing, and there's some very good logic in there, and I am going to try and edit it so that the solve flows very well. With the technical difficulties I had, as well as me fumbling the solve a little bit, that might be a little tricky, but we'll see how it all goes. But it is well worth a try. This puzzle is absolutely amazing. So good luck, everyone. I'm now going to cut back to past me, who is about to have a little bit of effort struggling. This puzzle, you may notice, comes with a significantly lower number of given digits. In fact, it comes with not enough given digits for this to be a solvable Sudoku. It is solvable for this constraint, but if this was just a normal classic Sudoku, you need, I think it's 17 digits for any classic Sudoku to be solvable. So the rules are the same, so I'm not going to go through them again. I'm just going to jump straight in. But yeah, let's see how. Let's give this a shot. So all of the low digits get marked in blue. All of the middle digits get marked in green, and all of the high digits get marked in yellow. Ooh, I don't have a lot to go off on this one, do I? Is Bremster capable of solving this? I know there has to be a 5 in one of those. One of these is green and one of them is yellow. I may have to start doing multicoloring, and green and yellow is a bad choice for this. Hopefully people will be able to see this on screen. Hmm. What do I need to investigate? So I'm sure it's... I need to put a blue in here. Now this could still be a 2 and this could be anything. I need to put a yellow and a green in here. But this could still be 4. Here we go. This cannot be yellow because it's C7, 8 or 9. So this has to be the green. This has to be the yellow. So this is 7 or 9 and this is any green. Okay. Well, that's something. Was there something equivalent down here? No, this if this is green, it's 5, and if it's so this is 5, 7 or 9. So I'm actually going to do that rather than that horrible coloring. And if this is green, it's 4 or 6, and if it's yellow, it's 8. So I'm actually just going to do that instead of the horrible coloring. Ooh, there's going to be... So again, I need to put a yellow and a blue in here. But that could be 3, 7, 8 or 9. This could be any blue or any yellow. I do need to put a blue in here, but I've already said that. What is the break-in trick I am missing? So these are either green or blue. So the way I'm starting to look at this now, completely blind with no clue, is this sees all 3 yellow, so they have to be green or blue. But they could be any of the green and 2 of the blue. So what cells do I have that see all of a colour? Not many. Well, it's not that I'm seeing. I think it's just those. Huh. No, there's also these. No, there's not. No, it is just those. And those. They must be yellow or blue. Because these see 4, 5, and 6. But they can be any of the yellows and blues. Huh. So one of these two is yellow, but I've got to put a yellow and a blue in here, but I've already looked at that. That's fine. Right. This is green because this had to be, right. I've already explained why this is green. I now need to put a yellow in this 2x2, but this can't be yellow because it's C7, 8, and 9. This becomes yellow. I now need to... Wow, that is giving me very little. I now need to put a green in one of those two. If it's there, it's 4. Wow, this is feeling very hunt and peck. I need to put a yellow in one of those two. If it's there, it's 7. If it's there, it's 7 or 9. I was thinking, do I have to put a green in here? But I don't. Because I could put a green here and cover that 2x2. Oh! This box... That is incredibly pretty. Okay, these are blue. I'm not going to say I should have seen that faster because I've never done a puzzle like this before, and that is quite tricky if you've never seen it before. These are both blue. This box can hold one more blue. This needs a blue in it. This needs a blue in it. So if I need to put a blue in here, I've got one blue to put both in there and in there. And the only way I can do that is to make that the final blue. Wow, that is actually quite tricky. I've now got to figure out what the heck it does for me. So all of these are now green or yellow. And I can't make them all the same. But apart from them all not being the same, well, I need to have a green and a yellow in there. And I need to have a green and a yellow in there. But I'm not seeing any particular pressure on that. I do need to get now a blue into this. So there has to be a blue up here, and there has to be a blue down here. Because otherwise these 2x2s won't have blues. Oh. Okay, if this is the next level up, I don't know that I want to be promoted. Right, I do, but wow. So I think the trick with this is asking where are the pressures on empty 2x2s rather than what's being forced by full 2x2s. But then again, I might be like, I need to put a yellow in here. But so I need to put a 7 into one of those 4. But I already had that by 7 not being there. But if I put the 7 up here, that forces a yellow into one of those two, but I've already kind of got that. Maybe. Mm. Okay, I need to put a blue in this. Right. Start thinking about this properly. I'm kind of right and kind of wrong. You kind of keep the need backflipping. I need to put a blue into this 2x2, but I can't put a blue into any of those. This becomes blue. Similarly, I need to put a blue into this 2x2, but I can't put a blue into any of those. That becomes blue. I need to put a yellow into one of those two, and a yellow into one of those two. So two of the yellows at least are taken up there. Now, this now is a yellow because I've got two greens and a blue. Oh, this is tricky. So this is a yellow and a green. I'm repeating myself. I am literally just thinking out loud, trying to find what the next bit is. I need to put a blue in here. I need to put a blue in here. This is not blue because I can only put two blues into an area and I've already got two blues in here. I need to put a blue in here and it can't be that one or I'd have too many blues in here. That is blue. This is different ways of thinking about things. I now need to put a green in here. And the only green I can put in is a 5, and I cannot put a 5 there. That is a 5, and that is green. Which means that is not the 5. This is now yellow. So this becomes green and is not 8. There is a very good chance I am just... No, I don't need to pin them out. I'm just all over the place on this puzzle. So this is 1 or... No, this is a 3. So I've got a blue in one of these two, and it has to be a 1 or a 2. But I could put a 2 there or a 1 there, I think. The other digit I need is yellow. That's a green. I know that is green because of that 2x2 region. So that is a 4 or a 5. I need to put a yellow down here. I'm starting to get growth. I am not yet sure if it is benign or malignant, but I am starting to get growth. So I need a yellow in here and a yellow in here. But I'm not yet sure why I couldn't just do those two. I may run out of yellows in the row, but... Can I repeat the trick I did over there? Thing is, I don't remember what the trick was, which is not going to be helpful. I need to put a blue in there. So this is 1 or 2. Actually, that's a 2, which means this is a 1, which means I have to put a 2. Basic Sudoku. Always an important thing to remember when you are doing a Sudoku puzzle. I don't know how many times I have been told this by various different Sudoku people. Simon mentions it, Mark mentions it, Ranks mentions it, Scott mentions it, Ashish mentions it, Kishore mentions it. I'm pretty certain Zetameth has mentioned it at least once every single puzzle he does. So 3, 3. I need to put a 3 in there. Five, 5. So this is not the 5 not the 5. This becomes the 5 and is therefore green. So there's a yellow in here, but that was not news. That is very old. There's a 5 up here. Again, not particularly newsworthy. There is a 1 up here. Actually, there's a 1 in one of those two. I do need to put a blue in there, and it needs to be a 2 or a 3. But I could put a 2 there or a 3 in either of them, I think. That is yellow, because I'd need to put a yellow in that 2x2. Now, that's completely filled the quota for that 2x2. So this is a 7 or an 8. That is now green. I now need to put a yellow in here. These are still yellow and green, which means I've got my green, so this becomes yellow. Because wherever I put the green in this 2x2 will take up the third green slot for this box. This becomes yellow. This is a 7 or a 9. This is a 9. This is a 7, which takes 7 out of both of those. So this is 4 or 6. And in here, I've got 4, 6, 7, and 8. That's a quad I'm going to mark because I can take 8 out of there. I can take 6 out of there. I can take 7 out of there. And 4 out of there. This is a complete triple. This is complete. This is complete. By triple, I mean I've got all 3 groups. What I don't have is all 3 groups in there. That, my friend, is yellow. This now needs a blue. Hello, blue. Which is a 3. This is an 8 or a 9. That's a 9. Which... I need to put a blue in there, which now needs to be still one of many things. The time has come, the tortoise said. I feel there is something happening in this box. I need to put a yellow in here. So this is not yellow. So this is either green or blue. I need to put blue in here. But there's lots of options there. That is green. Pay attention. Needed a green. So this is 4 or 6. This gives me a 4-6 pair in the row. This becomes a 5. That puts a 5 up there somewhere. And now I've got the completed groups again. This one isn't, though. That is high. Now, these are now a blue and a yellow. This is 7 or 8. I need to put a yellow in there. Oh, wow, this grows tough. Now, either this is a 3 or this is a 1, because I need to put a blue in here. I think I'm jumping too fast. So I've actually got a triple in this row, which is 2, 7, and 8. This is not 8, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 2, 7, 8. So one of these needs to be yellow. So one of those is a 7, because I can't use 8 or 9. So one of those is a 7. I'm trying to see if there's a way of connecting this to this using these. I may be going off my rocker here. Because I need to put a blue in here, and I need to put a blue in here. I also need to put blues in. I keep looking for 3, 6, 7, 8. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is it something to do? I need to put a yellow in here. I need to get a blue in here. Well, that can't be blue. So there's a blue in here. There must be a blue in here. Now, there must be a blue in here. Hang on, there's got to be a blue in here, and there has to be a blue in here. So this and these cannot be blue. And I must have a blue in here. Oh, crikey, I am melt. So there must be a blue in here. There must be a blue in here. There's something going on with these blues, and there must be a blue in here. That's 3 of my blues. And I've only got 6 to play with, so I've got 1 more blue to put in, but it could go anywhere. So is it counting in pairs of... So in any completed set of rows or columns, you will have exactly 6 of any group. I think I'm going mad here. So, for example, I've got 5 yellow here. So if I had a 2x2 region that needed a yellow, I would fulfill my count. And like, for example, if this 2x2 region didn't have its yellow, I'm just thinking basic concepts here, then I would be able to turn around and say, well, that couldn't have been yellow because I'd have too many yellows. Similar to what you do when you are just doing basic Sudoku and you're trying to figure out, can I, like you're doing an X-Wing, can I do a weird sort of count overload thing? Like I must put a yellow down here. I must put a yellow in here, but this already has its yellow, so I don't have the same restriction. So I need an extra yellow here. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But that is enough to complete the entire set of columns. Particularly if I put 1 in there, because 1 in here gets all of those. It's almost Star Battle logic. I am not very good at Star Battle. Now I need to put a yellow in here. I need to put a yellow in here. So there must be a yellow in here. But I've already determined the 7 has to be in one of those two. Because I must put a yellow in here. But if I put the 7 there, then the 7 will be forced into one of those, and I won't be able to complete that box. If I put the 7 there, what the heck am I going to do in that 4x4? So if the 7 is here, the 7 goes up here, this is broken. If the 7 is here or the 7 goes here, and this is broken, this cannot be a 7. That's a 4. This is a 6. This is an 8. This is a 7. This must be the 7, or else the entire box is broken. I could apologize for taking so long to see that, but I think that was actually a tricky spot. That's the wrong mode I'm in. That's the wrong mode. Let's just turn all the color off and turn the right one back on. So that is actually a 3. I need to put a green in there, which will be either a 4 or a 6. The 2 now goes over here somewhere. This needs a green, which is either a 4 or a 6. Need to put an 8 down here. Oh boy, that's 7. This is now green in order for this to be entropic. Last time I checked, 2 was not green. So this is 4 or 6. This needs a green in it as well as a blue. So there must be a 1 in here and a green. So 1 is in here. Need to put a yellow in there. That's a yellow, which is either an 8 or a 9. I keep getting these already completed regions, and it's like, boy, that, ooh, I'm going to be grumpy at that for a while. Now 3 needs to go in here. That absolutely must happen. So over here, I cannot put a blue, so I must put a blue up here somewhere. There is no blue in here. There's a green. Okay, I need to put a green in this 2x2, and I've already got them all filled there. So that right there is green. Now I need to put a green in here. I also need to put a blue in there. But again, I'm not seeing any of them being forced to not be. Now, this could be any yellow. This could be anything but a 5 if I put the green there. I need to put one of everything in there. There is a 1 in here somewhere. That is yellow, and probably has been since the dinosaurs last roamed the earth or something. This is actually a 1-8 pair. Now, yellow has to be in one of those 2. Either by that being an 8 or that being an 8 or a 9. Now, there's no green here, so there has to be green down here. This is blue, which means it's 3. This top one is now green. Okay. I already knew there was a blue in there. There is now a blue in there, but I kind of already knew that as well. Maybe not as locked in as I do now. There is a blue in here. There is a blue in here. Does there have to be a... And there's a blue in there. So there's a blue in all of those. So that is not blue. And it's not 5, 7, or 8. So that's 4, 6, or 9. I really like what this constraint does with making you think about options, but I think Mad-Tyas has the right moniker. So this is a 4 or a 6. There is a blue in there. The thing is, that's covered, that's covered, that's covered, that's covered. And I could cover all of that by just dropping a single blue there, I think. Actually, there is a 2 in... No, yes, there is a 2 in one of those. So these are not blue. And there's a 2 in one of those because I have to put a blue in it, and 1 and 3 are not possible because of those. Hang on, that's a 2-5 pair. Which means this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9. So there must be a 6 in one of these, which means one of these is going to be green, which works for that. So this is kind of now complete. As is this. These are 1, 4, 5, and 6, and this is not the 1. Whichever one of these is the one is actually going to fix those, but it's not going to fix those. I really, even though I've got this far, I'm still not comprehending how this works properly. Seven is in one of those three. So that potentially covers this whole box. 2 is not up there. That's a 2. That is a naked single 2. Because that 2 is knocking it out of there. The 2-5 pair is knocking it out of there. That 2 is knocking it out of there. And there is no 2 in that row. 2 has to go up here. So blue is now fully covered. 3 is in one of those 2. Lowest solve ever. That 8 right there has been looking into this for a very long time, which is giving me stuff. It is putting 7 into one of those 2. This is now a 3-6 pair. This is now a 1-7-9 triple. And this is now an absolute 100% 4. So that becomes green. These 4 6s are kind of playing with my brain, and I'm thinking I'm missing something obvious with them. But the 3 covers this. There's going to be 2 blues in here, so I need a green and a... So there is a 4 in here, which I know just because of Sudoku, 4, 6 pair and 4, and there is going to be... That'll give me the green digit, and either the 8 or the 9 that I do not use here. So if it's a 9, it's there. If it's an 8, it's there. I don't think that's giving me much. But then again, I just missed an 8 looking at an 8-9 pair for about 25 years. This puzzle is absolutely breaking me. So green in here, blue in here. There needs to be a 1 in one of these, but I've got that by Sudoku, like, since the very beginning. So that's a great deduction to make there, Brimster. So there's... Am I looking for contradictions at this point? I know that either this is a 3 or this is a 1. And I've known that for a very long time. Do I have to start doing chains? This doesn't feel like a level up puzzle if so. This is a 3. This is a blue, green. But this still doesn't force what that is. Similarly, if that's a 1, that doesn't force what that is because they don't actually cause contradictions. So there now is 2, 2. There is a 2 up here. The 8, 8 makes this the 8, which means there is an 8 in one of those 2 by Sudoku. Now this is either 7 or 9. Now I need to put the green in there, which I've had for a while. In fact, I need to put a 5 in there. I am still going to be missing a lot of Sudoku, aren't I? It is a problem I have when I colour a grid, that I just find it almost impossible to scan. But challenges we all face. Everyone who solves faces a different challenge, and that's all good. And the other thing to remember with Sudoku is it's not a race. Just because someone like Mark or Simon could solve this puzzle in 15 or 20 minutes doesn't mean that we have to. So there's going to be a 1 or a 3 in here, and there's going to be a 1 or a 3 in here. So the 1 is actually down here somewhere. Yeah, that's true. 1, there has to be a blue in here, there has to be a blue in here, so the blue is down here. So this is not the 1, this is the 1. This is yellow. And that fulfills all of those. This is going to be fulfilled either way, I think. Yes, it is. No. Maybe. You would think when I got to this point and there was more information in the grid, I would actually be better at solving this, but I'm really not. I'm really sorry to all my viewers for completely muffing this puzzle up. I keep being attracted to box 9. 1 goes in here. I've got the 2, 3. The 4 is in one of these 3 cells. 5 is in here. 6 seems to be wide open. 7 is in one of those 3. Kind of regret this being part of a 2-parter now, because this is going to turn it into way too long a video, and people don't like watching too long videos as intros to constraints. This is very much going to put people off. I either put a 3 there or a 2 there. If I put a 3 up there, that must be a 2. Hang on. Can't put 3 there. 3 has to go up here. So the only blue I can put in here is a 2. This is not a 2. And that's because of the 3s over here, which I can't remember how I got. Oh, because of the limitation, I needed to put a blue into this area. Wow, this puzzle is tricky. Now I need to put a yellow into here. And I need to put a green into here. So this is now 5 and this is now 2. So this is green and this is blue. Okay, we had a minor technical hiccup there where my recording went a bit haywire. So what I'm doing is I'm jumping back into where I think I was about to progress. So the next thing that was noticed was this 2x2 needs a low digit. So this places this 3, which becomes a blue digit. That then makes this a 6 and this a 3. So this becomes green and this becomes blue. Does that do... This becomes a 4 or a 5. Now I need to place a green and a yellow in here. I also need to place... So this is now... There's no 6 here. So this is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and 9. Now, whichever one of those is going to force the other one to be the different color. I've got all the colors here. So if that's a 5, that's could be... If that's a 5, then that could be either. That's a 9. Oh, crikey. Hang on. If that's a 9, that's a 7. That's weird. If that's a 4, then this becomes a 7-9 pair. That's very weird. I've got all these 4-6s. I'm going to try this, although I have massive problems with my color vision. That's not the one to start with. So if this was purple, this would be orange, this would be purple, this would be orange, this would be purple. That's not actually helping me much, is it? Well, this sees purple, so this, if it was a 4 or a 6, but I don't know that that's a 4 or a 6. So whatever is in this column is orange. So that can't be a 4 or a 6. This is a 1 or a 5. Oh, I need to put a blue in here. This is the 3. This is the 8. This is not the 3. This is 4, 5, 6, and 9. That is not 5. That is not 4. So this is going to, be 1 and either, the other green. This is not the 3 anymore. This is the 3. So this is blue. So this is going to be green and yellow. So this is either going to be 4, 7, or 8. And this is either going to be 4, 6, or 9. but that can't be a 6. That's a 4 or a 9. And that's not a 7. So we've got 4 or 7 at the top here. So this is an 8. There is no 8 in here. This is yellow. This is 6, 9. So this is 4 and is green. Now, that fills the quota on this. This is going to have a low 2, a blue, a green, and 2 yellow, but this is resolved by the 8. So this is the blue and this is the yellow. This, now that is green, so this needs to be yellow. So that will be that order. The 4 makes this the 9, making that yellow. This is not a 9 up here. This is a 7. This is a 9. This is a 7. This is not a 7 or a 9. So this becomes green. Now this is a given 1. So it is blue. Well, not given, but... So this is now 4, 5, or 6, and it is green. And it's not 4. This is a 7 and is yellow because I've got a 4, 5 pair in the row now, making this 4 and this 7. So this becomes green and this becomes yellow. This is 1, 6, and 9. Now, there is no 9 at the top here. This is a 6, meaning this is a 4, this is a 6, this is a 6, this is a 5, this is a 4. I'm going to get rid of all of the purple colouring and all of the orange colouring. This is now a 1 and this is a 5. 1 is blue, 5 is green, this is a 4, this is a 5. This is not a 5, so we've got a 6, 9 pair. This is not a 1, so this is a 1, which makes it blue. This becomes 4 and 6, which both makes it green and makes this 9. That becomes yellow. This becomes 6. This becomes 9. And this becomes the 6, and this becomes the 4. Wow, that was a level up. I'm sorry about the editing that I'm going to have to do in the middle of that puzzle to make it work. Hopefully the solve doesn't get too discordant in the middle there. I'm not sure what video I've lost and gained. If I have to, I can try and figure out how to do an insert in the middle. I will see what I can do. Sorry, Mad-Tyas, for that. Yeah, that is a really interesting constraint. I would like to see more done with it. I'd like to actually find a puzzle that was kind of halfway in between those two to practice a little more, because that was hard. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for, thank you for giving these a shot if you did, and I hope everyone who has given it a shot has been having fun trying to save the galaxy. Good luck, everyone. Thanks again. Good luck with your solving.